start the presentation.
Yes. A very good morning to one and all present here. I, Ria Anand, a second year student and member of Team RAISE,
And I, Kusam Vishesh, a second year student and a member of Team RACE.
on behalf of the entire team, welcome you all to the orientation. In the words of Sant Ratnakar, the outcome of a habit, not just a rhyme. These lines are truly a testament to the legacy that Team RAISE strives to keep alive. As we all know, that the coronavirus pandemic has driven our lives online. And so, here we present to you an online orientation session. We really hope that you will enjoy the session to the fullest. Here we have a short video for you to gain an insight into what actually Team RAISE does. So let's have a look.
So let us begin with a short introduction about Team RACE. So Team RACE is a solar car racing team which was initiated in the year 2014 by Sanket Raj sir and Amber Katayan sir. So it is a very new team with a lots of potential. And our aim is to develop a highly efficient solar electric vehicle to provide a breakthrough in the application of solar technology to the transportation sector. And our prime goal is the development of an energy efficient passenger solar electric vehicle that will be suitable for the Indian roads. Our team is dedicated to encourage the use of photovoltaic technology to meet the energy requirements of the future when there will be shortage of petrol and diesel. So we promote the alternative form of energy with a mission of Go Green.
Team RAISE has brought laurels to the Institute through the years. So presenting before you some of our achievements. In 2019, Team RAISE secured 8th rank among 64 TSVC, which is Asia's largest solar vehicle championship. In 2K18, it secured 7th rank among 104 other teams, won the lightest vehicle car award, and was awarded the Future Award as well at ESVC. In 2K17, it was crowned as the overall champion for the second time at IASC, which is an Indo-Asian Solar Championship. In 2K16, We were hailed as the overall champion at IASC, and in 2K15, it secured fourth place among 132 teams and won the Innovation Award at IASC.
Now let's have a look on the goals of Team Race. So the goals of Team Race includes first to facilitate continuous innovation and development in all fields related to solar vehicles through competitions like as we have seen ESVC and IASC to promote the alternative form of energy and to provide members of team with incomparable experience in business management and engineering. And the next is to inspire innovation, increase responsiveness, and ultimately confer competitive edge and create leadership so that we can inspire the children to pursue career in science and engineering, and we can also promote Go Green, which is very necessary in today's life.
Here, we'll begin with our presentation. The first section is focused on the mechanical domain. We also have a set of questions for you at the end of each section, and those who give the correct answers will get 1 mark as bonus in the written test that will be conducted prior to the induction. So try to be attentive throughout the workshop. Now, I would like to call upon Kushagra to brief you all about the mechanical section.
The essence of engineering is problem solving. Mechanical components are the most indispensable and basic skeleton of any vehicle. So let's come together, combine our creativity and knowledge, and complete this task of shaping an idea into reality here at Team Race. So mechanical team has brought to you the following contents. The first is the steering system, second is suspension system, next is differential, and then braking system. So now we will see the steering system. So what is steering system? Basically, it is a key interface between a driver and vehicle. It converts the rotation of the steering wheel into a swiveling movement of the road wheels in such a way that the steering wheel rim turns a long way to move the road wheels a short way, which allows the driver to guide the vehicle. So now we will see the various components of the steering system. It includes steering wheel, steering column, lower steering shaft, pit pan arm, tie rod, steering gear, parallelogram steering linkage, center link, idler arm, tie rod, and steering knuckle. Now let's have a look on the functions of a steering system. It converts rotary motion into angular turns of wheels. The system allows a driver to use only light forces to steer a heavy car, so it multiplies the efforts of driver. It provides directional stability. It absorbs part of road shocks and optimizes the tire life by proper tire to road contact. So these were the some of the functions of the steering system. Now the factors which will affect the handling are size of steering wheel, relative size of gears in steering gear, size and shape of steering linkages, percent of vehicle's weight placed on the front wheel, and the front wheel or rear wheel drive. So that was the brief introduction of a steering system. Now I would request Bhim Krish to continue the presentation.
Good afternoon, guys. Myself, Bhim Krishna from Mechanical Department. Now, as Kusagra explained you about the functions and factors of steering system. Now, let us know about the working of steering systems, different type of steering systems. Now, before that, we have to understand the principle of steering system. While we take a turn, there are some amazing physics and mechanics beneath the steering wheel, which keeps the vehicle without any skidding of wheels. Now, let us consider a rolling wheel. So the rolling wheel must have zero velocity at the contact of the road. So this will make sure that there would be no chance of slippage. Now, everyone will get a small doubt. How would a rolling wheel have a zero velocity? Yes, this is possible. Because rolling wheel have to the forward direction along the its axis. This makes the bottom rotational velocity. These act opposite to the top rotational velocity. As we know, these both are opposite and they get cancel each other. So we get zero velocity at the contact. Now, this is possible only when the wheel that straight direction. Now, what about the when the car take a turn? But when a wheel take a turn, both will not get cancelled. In order to get cancelled, the vehicle should take a turn with respect to the center point or common point. Now, how this common point we get? See, we draw a line from the back of the wheels, and two lines from the front wheels. So as these three lines combine at a point, that point is called common point. With this common point, the whole vehicle get a turn so that we can get zero velocity at the contact. So this is called principle of steering. Now let us see about now manual steering. See, the manual steering, the components are the green color we call as rack, and upon of the rack we have pinion, and the blue color we have arms, and the white color we have tie rods. See here, the jaws present in the rack used to make move sideways. So the pinion makes this jack to move sideways. So rack only move the sideways and pinion helps to move the sideways. So the wheel can take a turns. Now there is a short video so you can get very understand easily. Now hydraulic power steering. So these are the components. We have steering column upwards. Before the steering column, we have rotatory valve and the liquid with the help of highly pressured liquid. Now let us see the working of the hydraulic power steering. Next slide. See here, you can easily observe. Here we have a reservoir in which the highly pressured oil is present. So the liquid in the reservoir is sent to the oil pump and it is gone through the directional control valve. As the direction the driver want, the liquid is then supplied to the piston. As the liquid is very highly pressured, so the piston will get pushed. So if the driver wants right turn, then the piston will take push towards the left, so the driver can get the right turn. See, here is a short video, then you can get easily observe. See, the liquid is passed through the oil pump and then directional control valve, and the liquid is going to pass and near to the piston. As the liquid is very highly pressured, the piston gets pushed. As the piston get pushed, automatically rag get the pushed. As we know, rag get pushed, the wheels take the turns, and some of the hydraulic come to the reservoir. And now electric power steering. So nowadays most cars are using the power steering. So the main reason to use the power steering makes the steering parts effortless and more accurate. Now near the rack we have a cylindrical shape, that is in that we have brushless DC motor. So it is the main key to take the turn. This brushless DC motor rotates both in clockwise direction and anti-clockwise direction. As the driver wants right turn, it takes the clockwise direction. As the driver wants left turn, it takes the anti-clockwise direction. Now, there is a box. It is called as electronic control unit (ECU) that decides the amount of power that the motor should transfer to the column. Now, play the video.
And more accurate. A column-assisted power.
See, here we have brushless DC. So it will rotate in clockwise direction and anti-clockwise direction. This helps the rack to move sideways. Main part. So this ECU takes the torque from the driver as the input and then decides the amount of torque to be applied on the rack. So in this way, the wheels get the turns. Next, we see the difference between the manual and power steering. So manual steering is we have only rack and pinion. So in order, drivers should apply more torque. But in the case of power steering or hydraulic steering, there are some external forces by using of oil or electric. so the driver can afford a small amount of force. Now, manual steering limits on physical effort and steering gear ratio to the steer vehicle. But in the case of power steering, provides an additional force, either whether it is from hydraulic or electric, to assist the driver effort for the steering the vehicle. And now I introduce Komal Rani to explain you about the suspension system.
So now, starting with the what is suspension system? It is a term given to the system of springs, shock absorber, and linkages. It serves a dual purpose, like it contributes to the car's handling as well as braking. It protects the vehicle from any kind of tear and wear. Next slide. Now coming to the what is the purpose of suspension system? Suspension system provides stability to the vehicle in dynamic condition like high speed, sharp turns, and braking. It keeps tires in firm contact with the road. It works with the steering system to keep the wheel in correct alignment. Now coming to the types of suspension system. There are two types of suspension system. First one is non-independent suspension system. Before starting the types, you must be familiar with the fact that the front, left and the right wheel are connected through the solid axle and the front wheel and the rear wheel are connected to the solid live axle. Suspension system. When the front wheel came across any bump, it leads to the upliftment of the opposite wheel connected to the solid axle or the rear wheel connected to the solid live axle, and it is used in case of truck. The second one is independent suspension system. In this, each wheel on the same axle is allowed to move vertically independent of each other. Now, Mosam will continue further with the parts of suspension system.
Thank you, Komal. Now coming to the basic parts of the suspension system. So the very first part is spring. A spring provides supports to the weight of the vehicle. It also permits the control arm and the wheel to move up and down. Now the next part of the suspension system is shock absorbers. These are also called as the dampeners, which keeps the suspension to bounce back after compression and extension of the spring. The third part is control arm bushing. These are the metal slips that allows the control arm to swing up and down on the frame. A bushing is used to provide stability to the vehicle. Now talking about the basic tire terminology, the very first term which we should know is camber angle. So what is camber angle? This is the angle which is subtended by the wheel panel with the vertical. There are two types of camber angle. The first one is positive camber angle and the next one is negative camber angle. A positive camber angle forms when the wheel tilt outwards from the vehicle, and the negative camber angle forms when the wheel of the vehicle tilt inward side of the vehicle. The next term is caster angle. It is the angle subtended by the steering axis with the true vertical. If the steering axis tilt rear side of the vehicle, then it is said positive caster angle. If the axis is straight, then it will be called zero caster angle. And if the axis tilts front side of the vehicle, then it is called negative caster angle. In general, positive caster angle is provided to most of the vehicle because it provides stability to the vehicle. Now, what is toe in, toe out? If we look the wheels from the upper side of the vehicle, we would observe that both of the wheels are not in parallel. If the front of the wheels are going apart from the rear side of the wheel, then it is called toe out. And if the front of the wheels are going closer than the rear part of the wheel, then it will be called toe in. So that's all from me. Now I would like Sonu to come and continue the further part.
Thank you, Mosam. As you have gone through what is suspension, its purpose, its basic parts, now you are going to see that types of suspension. There are various types of suspension, but we are interested in three of them. So first one is wishbone suspension. What is wishbone suspension? A double wishbone suspension is an independent suspension designed using two wishbone shaped arms to locate the wheel. Each wishbone or arm has two mounting points to the chassis and one joint at the knuckle. Here, as you can observe in the figure at right side, that there is a spring attached between two wishbone. This spring plays an important role in absorbing shock. shock. Most importantly, in our solar car. This type of suspension can be seen in large vehicles such as trucks. You can see on the right side in the figure, leaf spring is a set of blades, and in between blades, friction occurs, which provides damping. Also, it provides lateral location for the axle. It is heavier. With passage of time, due to internal friction, wear and tear of leaf spring happens, and it weakens them, and after some time, it breaks. Now, next one is coil spring. Slides. Change. In this, internal damping do not occurs. Also, cost is low. Size is small, compact size, used in many suspension types. It is commonly used in modern vehicles. Next. Now let's look new device that is differential. Now, what is differential? The differential is a device that splits the engine torque two ways, allowing each output to spin at different speed. It means two wheels with common shaft can rotate with different angular speed. In the below picture, you can see there is an arrangement of gears in between shaft, and that is main component of differential. It can be found in all modern cars and trucks. Now let's understand why do we need a differential. When a car turns a corner, one wheel is on the inside of a turning arc and other wheel is on the outside. Consequently, the outside wheel has to turn faster than inside one in order to cover the greater distance in the same amount of time. Thus, because the two wheels are not driven with the same speed, a differential is necessary. Now, this is from my side. Now my teammate Nilay Kumar will address upcoming slides.
Yes, Sonu. I am Nilay Kumar from second year of mechanical engineering. Now, after seeing the suspension system and steering system, now I will be explaining braking system. So, when it's driving safety, nothing is more critical than your brakes. Purpose of brake in our vehicle is for either stopping the vehicle or reducing the speed. In this section of braking system, about the different types of brakes, braking fluid, because most used brakes are based on a hydraulic pressure system, and at last we will see about the working of braking system. Now, starting from the introduction part, as I mentioned, braking is the mechanism used to slowing down and stopping the vehicle. And here we will also see how a small force from on a force on a brake pedal leads to stop such a large vehicle. This we will see in the working of braking system. And moving on to main function of braking, it's to stop the vehicle safely in shortest possible distance in case of emergency, and to control the vehicle when it is descending along the hill to keep the vehicle in the right position after braking, bringing in at rest. Now we will see about different types of brakes. Mainly there are two types of brakes, disc and drum brakes. Disc brakes and drum brakes are both based on a hydraulic pressure system, and braking starts with a mechanical force, your foot pressing the brake pedal. Now starting with a disc brake. Disc brakes are found on most vehicles today. They are mounted on the front axle and often the rear as well. To stop a wheel, a disc brake uses a caliper fitted with brake pads, grab a spinning disc or rotor by creating a friction. Here you can see in the figure at right, is represented by black color, is a caliper fitted in the calipers. And whereas drum brake is a brake that uses friction caused by a set of shoes or pads that press outward against a rotating cylinder shaped part called brake pad. Now a question might comes in your mind, which brake is better? Although both brakes operate with same basic hydraulics, but they perform differently. Disc brakes are more efficient and they are the most common types of brakes used in nowadays. because it provides better stopping power. It dissipates the heat very easily, and it works better in wet conditions. Thank you. That's all from my side. I would like to call Monica to take forward the.
Thank you, Nilay. Hello all, this is Monica from second year. You have learned from Nilay about what what the braking system is, and its different types. Now let me tell you about the anti-braking system and why we use it in the vehicle. So even for an experienced driver, unexpected trouble can get in the way and he might suddenly hit the pedal, which can cause the wheels to get locked. This is when the anti-braking system comes in. The anti-braking system is also called anti-lock braking system. This is an anti-skid braking system used in the vehicles such as cars and trucks. This prevents the wheels from getting locked up when the brakes are applied. Hence, it prevents skidding of the wheels and it maintains the contact with the road. So how does it work? Each wheel has a sensor attached to it and is monitored under heavy braking. If these sensors detect that the wheel is about to lock up and stop moving, the system will release the brake for a short moment. This is continuously repeated and it applies optimum pressure to each wheel. It means brake will be applied just enough to not lock the wheels and it prevents skidding. This is mainly used for the driver to remain in control of the vehicle. So guys, this was about the anti-braking system. So now let us know about what a brake fluid is and what it does in a braking system. So the brake fluid is an integral part of the braking system. It is a hydraulic fluid responsible to stop your vehicle when the brake is applied. Its principle is it transfers the pressure you apply through the pedal to all the wheels through series of lines. Now the brake fluid must meet certain requirements as defined by various standards for the brake system to work properly. Uh, when the brake fluid is subjected to very high temperature, especially when the brakes are applied, it must have a high boiling point for it to not get vaporized. It creates a problem because the vapor created is highly compressible relative to the liquid and therefore it negates the hydraulic transfer of the brake force. So in turn, the brake becomes soft and therefore and therefore it will fail to stop the vehicle. And again, brake fluids must not corrode the metals used in the components such as calipers, wheel cylinders. They must also protect against corrosion as the moisture might enter the system. Uh, Based on how much amount of moisture they absorb and how much corrosive they are, the brake fluid is categorized into three types as shown. They are the castor oil based, glycol based, and the silicon based. Castor oil based, as shown, 2 has a boiling point for about 190 degrees Celsius, 190 degrees Celsius, which is not enough for a car that is suggested to use dot 2. There are dot 3 and dot 4. Now here dot 3 and dot 4 boiling points for about 400 to 450 degrees Celsius. Now the difference between the two is dot 3 is highly corrosive and it requires regular cleaning, whereas dot 4 has additives present in it which can prevent corrosion at that high temperatures. Coming to the last type, that is the silicon based. Now this has a very high boiling point and it does not absorb water very easily, unlike the glycol based. Now the disadvantage here is, if at all it comes in contact with water, water packets are formed and it forms corrosion very easily. So we here at Team Race use DOT4 for our vehicle. Now this was about the brake fluid. Let me explain you how the braking system works. So cars have brakes on all four wheels that are operated by hydraulic system. The brakes are either disc type or a drum type. The car brake system works in a few ways. When your foot pushes the brake pedal and the force generated by your leg is amplified several times by a mechanical leverage, as you can see in the picture. A piston moves into the cylinder and it squeezes the hydraulic fluid out of the end, and hydraulic brake fluid is forced around the entire braking system within a network of brake lines, and again pressure is transmitted equally to all the four brakes through this brake fluid. The force creates friction between the brake pads and disc brakes in the wheel, which is what stops the vehicle. Thank you guys, that was all from my side. Hope you guys understood. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. So here we have a short quiz for all of you named Quiz Enical. Whoever knows the right answer should comment 1 in the chat box. I repeat, they have to comment the number 1 in the chat box, and the one who comments first will get a chance to unmute and give the correct answer. It's based on the first come, first serve principle. So let's begin. Your first question is, as you have all gone through the braking section in our PPT, so can you answer which brake fluid our team uses? Option A is .2, option B is .4, option C is .5. So Krishnam Kumar has commented first. So please unmute your mic and give us the answer.
Kushagra, I guess there's a mistake. Suraj has commented first.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it was my mistake. Sorry, Suraj has commented first. Suraj, please unmute your mic.
Yes, sir. It is .4.
Yeah. So your answer is correct.
Glycol.
The answer is .4.
Glycol based. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So Suraj Kumar was correct. The answer is .4. So moving to the next question. If you know the answer of second question, you have to comment 2 in the chat box. And your question is, which type of suspension do we use in our car? Option A is leaf spring, option B is wishbone suspension, and option C is coil spring. So I think Utkarsh Singh has commented first. Am I correct, Riya?
Gaurav Kumar, unmute your mic and say the answer.
Yes, Gaurav Kumar.
Yeah, sir. Option B, Fishbone suspension.
Gaurav, please tell the answer.
Fine, Gaurav,
Sir,
you can
option
unmute
B.
yourself.
Wishbone suspension. Yeah. So the answer is wishbone suspension. It was correct. And moving to the next question. If you know the answer of this question, you have to comment 3 in the chat box. And your question is, what is the angle between the steering axis and the vertical plane of the wheel? Option A is caster, option B is camber, option C is steering axis inclination, and option D is kingpin inclination. So uh, the student who have commented first is PVS J. Kumali. Yeah, you can unmute your mic and give the correct answer.
It's caster.
Yeah, so the answer is correct. The answer is caster. So this was all. Now moving to the electrical part, I would like to request Aman to begin.
Hello, आवाज आ रहा है?
Yeah, you can continue.
Thank you, Kushagra. So, hey juniors, are you enjoying the orientation? So now you have all have understood about the mechanical components of our car, that how the steering works, how the suspension works, which brake fluid is best. But that's it? That is enough to run a car? The answer is a huge no, because without power you can even run a car. So to solve that problem, we electrical team of Team Race brought you the electrical components of our car, in which we are going to discuss about the solar panels, MPPT, BLDC motors, and batteries. So let's begin with solar panels. Solar panels are those devices which are used to absorb the sun rays and then convert them into electricity or heat. A solar panel is actually a collection of solar or photovoltaic cells which can be used to generate electricity through photovoltaic effect, or commonly known as photoelectric effect. There are many practical applications of solar panels, just like in agriculture for power irrigation, in healthcare for storage of medicines. It can be also used in infrastructure. So right. So now let's discuss about the types of solar panels. First, monocrystalline solar panels. This has uniform dark look and round edges. The silicon high purity caused this type of solar panels has one of the highest efficiency rates, with the new ones reaching over 20%. Second, polycrystalline solar panels. This type of solar panels has square, its angles are not cut, and it has blue speckled look. They are made by melting raw silicon, which is faster and cheaper process than that used for monocrystalline panels. Third, thin film amorphous silicon solar panels. The amorphous silicon solar cells is among the different types of solar panels and the one that used mainly in such as pocket calculators. This type of solar panels use a triple layer technology which is best for thin film variety. Fourth, the concentrated PV solar panels. Concentrated PV cells generate electricity just as conventional photo system does. Those multi-junction type of solar panels have efficiency rate up to 41%, which among all photovoltaic systems is highest so far. So now in our car we use polycrystalline solar panels because it has the highest efficiency from these. So now let's discuss about the detail about the diagram of solar panel. The solar panel consists of a frame and a glass which protects it from the dust and the other outside particles, then encapsulate, then solar cells which generate electricity from the sun, then encapsulate, then backsheet, and then junction box from where the electricity is passed on from the box. So now we have all have understood that this how the solar panels convert solar energy to electrical energy, but where to store and how to store. So your answer is MPPT. What is MPPT? MPPT stands for Maximum Power Point Tracking. Its core function is to make sure that the batteries are fully charged, then to control the power coming from the solar array so that the batteries are not overcharged and damaged. Most popular charge controllers are Outback's FM60, FM80, Xentrex XW60 MPPT. So now let's discuss about the working of MPPT. MPPT or maximum power point tracking can optimize the power going into our battery. Assume our battery is low at around 11.3 volts. MPPT can take that 17.6 volts at 7.39 amps and convert it so that the battery gets no longer 7.39 amps at 17.6 volts, but 10.16 amps at about 12.3 volts. Now we still had almost 130 watts, and that's what it paid for, all going into our batteries. Now I request Ashutosh Vimal to continue further on.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashutosh Vimal. I am from electrical engineering. I'll be talking about the type of motors and battery we use in our vehicles. Starting with motors, we use brushless motor. A brushless DC motor, also known as BLDC motor or BL motor, is an electronically commuted DC motor which does not have brushes. The controller provides pulse of current to motor winding, which control the speed and torque of synchronous motor. The figure describes how does a BLDC motor works. Now coming to the next slide, the advantages of a brushless motor over brushed motor. One of the main advantages is high power to weight ratio. Second one is high speed. Third one is electronic control, and the fourth one is low maintenance. Specifications of motor are: first, operating voltage is between 48 volt to 60 volt DC. Second, total power is maximum 2000 watt and minimum 2000 watt and maximum 4000 watt. We can also use hub motor. Specifications of battery are: first, maximum voltage is 60 volt. Second, maximum battery capacity is 6 kilowatt per hour. Now coming to the next topic, that is lithium ion battery. A lithium ion battery, or just Li-ion battery, is a type of rechargeable battery. Lithium ion batteries are commonly used for portable electronics and electrical vehicles and are growing in popularity for military and aerospace applications. Now let us look inside a lithium ion battery. A lithium ion battery is made up of a lot of small cells. The cells contain a cathode, a anode, and is separated by a separator. The most commercially popular anode is graphite, and cathodes are generally oxides of lithium. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Now I bring to you ElectroQuesters, a set of questions for you guys to test your understanding of the electrical domain. The rules remain the same. Whoever knows the answer to the first question is supposed to comment 1 in the chat box, and the fastest one will get a chance to unmute and answer. So the first question is, which type of solar panel do we use in our car?
Moripati, please unmute your mic and say the answer.
Yes, Molupati. Mopati. Please answer.
Polycrystalline, sir.
That's the correct answer. So the answer is polycrystalline. Good job. And Mopati, please comment your name, roll number, and branch in the chat box. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
The second question before you is, what does MPPT stand for? If you know the answer, comment 2 in the chat box.
Ranjan, please unmute yourself.
Harsh Ranjan.
Yes, ma'am. It's maximum power point tracker.
That's the correct answer. Maximum power point tracking is the full form of MPPT. So Harsh Ranjan, comment your name, branch, and roll number in the chat box. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now the next question before you is, which effect is used in solar panels to generate electricity? You should comment 3 in the chat box if you know the answer.
Krishnam Kumar, please unmute your mic and say the answer.
That photovoltaic effect.
Yeah, that's the correct answer. Good job. Now comment your name, roll number, and branch in the comment section. So here we come to an end to the electrical part. Now let's begin with the electronics section. Now I would like to call upon Ayushi to brief you all about the electronics domain.
Good morning, everyone. From here on, we shall begin with the role of the innovation team. Talking about the implementations and roles of electronics in our solar car, I must mention that our team has always been ahead in terms of innovation, and this has always provided us an edge in the championship because innovation is one such domain which covers most points, as there is a whole section where we are marked on the basis of our innovation, and these scores also add up in the finals. I would also like to inform you all that our team race has always made a mark by scoring high points in this domain. So now let's talk about a few innovative tools and technologies that we use in our vehicle, and they are Arduino, IR sensors, PIR sensors, LDR, fingerprint scanners, and app development. Starting with Arduino, Arduino is an open source hardware and software company project and user community that designs and manufactures single board microcontrollers and microcontroller kits for building digital devices. The boards are equipped with sets of digital outputs that may be interfaced to various expansion boards or breadboards and other circuits. Arduino boards are able to read inputs like a light on a sensor, a finger on a button, or a Twitter message and turn it to an output such as activating a motor, turning on a LED, or publishing something online. Fascinating, wasn't it? Okay, so the microcontroller which we use is the Arduino Uno Atmega 328P. Moving on, the Arduino integrated environment, the Arduino integrated development environment is a cross-platform application for Windows, Mac OS, Linux that is written in the programming language of Java. But it also supports languages such as C and C++, which using special rules of coding structuring. Moving on to the applications of Arduino, Arduino finds its application in various technologies, be it home temperature based, fan based control and monitoring, or home automation system, or fancy lights controller, Wi-Fi controlled robot, or a fingerprint sensor, to name a few. This was all from my side about Arduino. Now Ria will continue with IR sensors.
Humans can't see infrared radiation as it is beyond the visible spectrum, but we have designed electronic detection devices to pick up these signals. Talking about IR sensor is actually an electronic instrument that is used to sense certain characteristics of its surroundings by either emitting or detecting infrared radiation. Infrared sensors are also capable of measuring the heat being emitted by an object and detecting motion. It actually has two parts, a light emitting diode that is an LED and a receiver. When an object comes close to the sensor, the infrared light from the LED reflects off of the object and is detected by the receiver. The physics behind infrared sensors is governed by the following three laws. The first one being Planck's radiation law, second Stefan-Boltzmann law, and the third one being Wien's displacement law. Coming to PIR, that is passive infrared sensors. A passive infrared sensor is an electronic sensor that measures infrared light radiating from objects in its field of view. The term passive refers to the fact that PIR devices do not radiate energy for detection purposes. They work entirely by detecting infrared radiation emitted by or reflected from objects. It finds its uses in security alarms and automatic lighting applications. The basic difference between IR and PIR sensors is that IR sensor emits infrared light from the LED, whereas PIR sensors only detects infrared radiation and do not emit it from an LED. So that was all about IR and PIR sensors. From here, Nidhi will continue.
Hello everyone. After completion of IR and PIR sensors, here I am present to talk about LDR and fingerprint sensor. So starting with LDR. What is LDR? A light dependent resistor or a photoresistor or photocell. It's a light controlled variable resistor. Here you can see a picture of LDR. Now, how does it work? LDR works on the principle of photoconductivity. The resistance of photoresistor decreases with increasing incident intensity. Its resistance can vary from about 100 ohm in the sunlight to over 10 mega ohm in absolute darkness. Now, coming to its uses. It is used in alarm clocks, street lights, photography exposure meters, light sensitive switches, etc. Now, moving forward to the next slide. So what are fingerprint scanners? Fingerprint scanners are a security system of biometrics. People have a pattern of ridges on their fingers. This fingerprint cannot be removed or changed. How does a fingerprint sensor work? The light sensitive microchip makes the digital image by looking at the ridges and valleys of the fingerprint, turning them into ones and zeros, and creates the user's own personal code. Talking about its applications, in some doors, the Adafruit fingerprint scanner is used that can cater up to 160 fingerprints. The stored fingerprints are kept in the onboard flash memory. So that's all from my side. Now I would like to call upon Aditya to continue.
Everyone, now we'll continue with the app development.
Aditya, I guess your voice is not clear.
Am I audible here?
Now you are.
Now with the development section of our team. So we maps for our team created with a card perform some simple tasks. Now there are different IDs for the development of an app, which is something like Android Studio, Flutter, or Visual Studio, etc., etc. And the programming language used for development of an app are Java, Kotlin, or C++. Okay, for the next slide. Okay. So we use radio buttons or UI elements for integrating our car and our app. Simple radio buttons or something like that. Progress bar for our battery state. We also have smoke detector, alcohol detector, alert detector. The alert detector can use alert detector in its car, and that will show that driver has pushed the alert message. And we have also integrated different sensors with our car. The values intake by the sensors can also be with the help of our app. So that's all from my side. Now I'd like Kushagra to continue with the quiz.
Thank you, Aditya. Now we present before you Visotronics to test your understanding of the electronics domain. If you know the answer to the first question, comment 1 in the chat box, and the first one to comment will be asked to unmute and give the correct answer. The first question for you is, what is the microcontroller used in Arduino Uno?
G Swapna, please unmute your mic.
ATmega 328P.
Yeah. So it is the correct answer. Please comment your name, branch, and roll number in the chat box. The second question is, if you know the answer, comment 2 in the chat box. And the second question is, what is the full form of LDR?
Raj Srivastava, please unmute your mic and say the answer.
Please unmute yourself and tell the answer.
I think there is some mute problem, unmute problem. Continue
Sir,
next
am I
question.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Sir, am I audible?
Not able to
Light
unmute.
dependent
you are
Can
audible.
someone please do it?
Yeah, you
Light
carry on.
dependent. Sir, I was not able to unmute my mic actually. There was some issue, I think.
Okay, say the
Okay,
answer.
okay. Just say the answer.
Light dependent resistors.
Light dependent resistor.
Yes, sir, LDR.
Yeah. So you are correct. Please give your name, branch, and roll number in the comment box. And the third question, if you know the answer, comment 3 in the chat box. And the question is, what kind of waves does the IR sensor work on?
Naval, please unmute your mic and say the answer. Suraj Barnawal.
Infrared waves.
Yeah, please. Yeah, so you are correct. It is infrared rays. You should comment your name, branch, and roll number in the chat box. So the strength of each team, the strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. So now I would like to introduce our team panel. Let us begin with our management team, led by our captain Manish Ras sir, followed by our vice captain Om Misra sir, and Shivam sir and Meenal ma'am as team manager. Now our innovation team, headed by Ashutosh sir, Purushottam sir as app developer, Shivam sir, Shubham sir, and Aarti ma'am as team member. Now our electrical team includes Aditya sir as solar panel R&D head, Ram sir as GLVS head, Deepak sir as GLVS co-head, Vishal sir as electrical tractive head, and Pritam sir as electrical tractive co-head. Now sponsorship team, headed by Aarti ma'am, and Neeraj sir, Harsh sir, and Samiksha ma'am as team member. Now we have design and manufacturing team as Subham Karmali sir as technical head, Siddharth Batwal sir as braking head, Vardhan Verapola sir as powertrain head, Rohit sir as powertrain co-head, Manish sir as design head, Narendra sir and Divakar sir as design co-head, Neil Kamal sir as suspension head, Rishikesh Rudra sir as suspension co-head, Suvam Prakash sir as fabrication head, Viswajit sir as fabrication co-head, Sasank sir as steering head. We also have Shivam Chandra sir as creative head, Minal ma'am as PR head, Suvam Karmali sir as creative co-head, Aarti ma'am as social handler.
Now I would like to invite Manish sir, the captain of Team Race, to address you all and deliver his views.
Hello guys. First of all, I wanna see that you guys are attentive in the session or not. So guys, please write hi hello in the chat box to show your josh and how energetic you are after one session, 1 hour of technical session. So guys, please write. I am waiting your response, guys. Comment hi hello. Yeah, thank you guys. Okay. Thank you guys. I got a lot of comments. This shows that still your energy level is very high. So a very warm good afternoon to all of you. So this is Manish Raj, captain of Team Race. In this workshop till now, you all must have gained a bit of idea about what we do, our team dynamics, our team members and their specific roles. One thing I wanna tell you is that being part of Team Race is like being a part of a family. We all look after one another. We know about each other's strength and weakness. We are always there for each other, and the same for junior team members and seniors as well. You guys know that in today's world, having just bookish knowledge is not enough. One must know how to apply it in practical world. In Team Race, we do all that. I can tell you with guarantee that the amount of fun, enjoyment, learning we received in workshop while making the vehicle with seniors can't be compared to anything. So I myself learned a lot about how to handle tough situations, how to manage each individual, and same is for every other team members. You might not realize it today in first year, but in second year or third year, when you are be thinking about how you spend college life, you would have missed a great chance to enjoy and learn at the same time. At last, I would say you all must give your best in the induction process of Team Race. Now, after this, there will be a doubt session, so feel free to ask any kinds of doubt you have. Thanks you all for being such a spot in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. There is a piece of important information to be conveyed to all of you regarding the written test. A written test will be conducted prior to the inductions, and the shortlisted students will move to the further rounds. All the information regarding this will be conveyed to you through WhatsApp groups. Till then, stay tuned. Now, if you have any queries, please let us know by commenting in the chat box, and our team panel will make sure that your queries get answered. So you can start asking questions if you have any.
Guys, please ask any question. Any doubts?
सर इंडक्शन ये क्विज के बेसिस पे होगा जो आज हुआ है सर?
नहीं, इसका बेसिस पर कुछ नहीं होगा. इसके लिए टेंशन नहीं लो. ये बस पॉइंट्स मिलेगा 1-2 पॉइंट्स, इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं.
ओके सर.
सर रिटर्न के बाद कोई पीआई राउंड भी होने वाला है क्या?
हाँ, रिटर्न के बाद दो पीआई होगा, PI1 एंड PI2. और इसके लिए टेंशन नहीं लो कि अभी जो क्विज हुआ इसके बेसिस पर तुम लोग का सिलेक्शन होगा. ये सब एकदम बिल्कुल दिमाग से हटा दो. तुम जो रिटर्न में करोगे PI1 PI2 उस पर सिलेक्शन होगा. डोंट वरी फॉर ऑल दिस थिंग.
सर मैक्सिमम लिमिट कितना है सर इस बार इंडक्शन का हम लोग के 2020 बैच से?
ऐसे तो 30 रहता है. टीम्स में मैक्सिमम लोग को ले सकते हैं.
माई सेल्फ युवराज सिंह फ्रॉम मैकेनिकल. सर मैं ये कह रहा था कि जैसे कि अभी जो क्यूज हो रहा था ऐसे अगर सर इंडक्शन में वर्कशॉप में होगा तो सर फेयर थोड़ी ना होगा.
नहीं, इस टाइप से क्विज नहीं होगा. ये तो सिर्फ एक प्रेजेंटेशन था, इसलिए इस टाइप से किया गया है. थोड़ा तुम लोग से इंटरेक्शन बढ़ाने के लिए ताकि बोर ना हो. इस टाइप से नहीं होगा, उसमें प्रॉपर मेंटेनेंस होगा। मींस
थैंक यू।
सर जो टीम रेस की कार है वो प्योरली सोलर पे चलती है या फिर पहले चार्ज करना पड़ता है उसके बाद बैटरीज पर चलती है?
कंपटीशन में दो तरह का राउंड होता है। एक जो होता है मीन्स सोलर से बैटरी को चार्ज करना है, उसके बाद उस चार्ज बैटरी से कितना देर तक सोलर व्हीकल चले उस पे, और एक राउंड और होता है जिसमें डायरेक्टली सोलर व्हीकल से चलाया जाता है। Any more queries from technical section?
Yeah, Manish, it's written in the chat box. Please explain the processes of PI1 and PI2.
Don't worry guys, in PI1 में सिर्फ तुम लोग से टेक्निकल क्वेश्चंस पूछा जाएगा जो कि तुम 11th और 12th में पढ़े हो, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं, ज्यादा तुमको नॉलेज गेन करने की जरूरत नहीं। और जो पीपीटी में अभी मेंशन किया गया है बस वो सब थोड़ा थोड़ा ऊपर से टॉपिक रहेगा, ज्यादा डीप में नहीं पूछा जाएगा। और जो तुम पढ़ चुके हो मतलब 11th 12th में, बस वही पूछा जाएगा। PI2 में सिर्फ HR टाइप का क्वेश्चन होंगे।
सर ये जो पीपीटी आपने शो किया था सर, इसको सेंड कर सकते हैं?
This PPT will be circulated to each and every branch after this orientation session.
सर इस मीटिंग का वीडियो भी शेयर होगा क्या?
हाँ शेयर कर देंगे, वीडियो भी शेयर कर देंगे। Any more
Sir?
question? Yeah.
So can you tell about some recent innovations that happened in the team?
Okay. So talking innovations that we have done, are you from the EC department? Like it will be if you are from there, and I'll be able to explain that better.
I'm from mechanical.
Okay, so if you are asking about the recent innovations, I'll say we have used Arduino, we have used app development, and we are even trying to use we are even trying to make a fully automated car, but unfortunately because of all this COVID scenario, it was not we were not able to implement that, but we'll surely take steps that will bring us forward in this automation setup.
And ma'am, in the presentation you told that in the app it is also shown that if the driver is drunk or not. How does it test it?
We implemented that. Actually, I was not someone who made the app. Our seniors made, and there were technologies using which he made that. But that portion, that particular innovation is properly functional till now. We've been using that.
Can you explain how it works? What's the question? Yes, sir. Okay, see how it happens that we study about the Arduino. Their Arduino ID is present in the software Arduino ID. We do the coding over there. So for smoke detection or alcohol detection, there is some sensor found there. So that sensor is connected to the Arduino, and Arduino ID we have to write the code in Arduino ID, and that ID is connected to the app. So okay, so app is connected to the ID directly through the ports. So from there we can connect the sensors, and sensor is connected to the Arduino ID, and Arduino ID is connected to the app. That's where we get the information through app from the that detector, or smoke or alcohol detector. Sir, I understand about Arduino and how the app works, but I did not understand which sensor do we use. That if a driver Yeah, you can search on the Google that which sensor is used for alcohol detection. You can so there are lots of sensors you can use. Okay.
Sir, in the PPT.
Hey.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you can ask the question.
Yes, sir. Sir, can we see the picture of the team race car, the current car?
Okay.
So that group photo. So the last one.
Yeah, it's there in the slide. Yeah, you can change the slide. It's there in the slide.
Group photo. Go back, go back. Yeah, this one.
I want to ask that जब ये कंपटीशन होता है उसमें रेसिंग भी होती है.
हाँ रेसिंग भी होती है कंपटीशन में। तुम वीडियो में शुरू में ही देख चुके होगे जो रेसिंग होता है, शुरू में जो ESPC का दिखाया गया है। फिर से वीडियो चलाएं क्या? एवरीथिंग इज मेंशन्ड इन द वीडियो।
So can we design a completely new car which is
Make sure you speak loudly.
next and motor list? I was just saying that in this competition, in this year's competition, can we make a new car with a new design, like streamlined to
Yeah,
increase?
every year design has been changed. We have to design according to the rule book, and rule book every year rule book is changed by the ESPC.
So it's given
And
in the competition. That
No,
how we should design.
before 6 months of the competition, we get a rule book in which the case is given. Which type of case you are given means length of the vehicle must be this, and the weight of the vehicle this. And according to this, we have to calculate everything. What is the length should be, and which type of brake we use, which type solar panel we use. Everything has been changed every year because rule book has been changed by the ESPC.
You have to start from scratch.
You have seen all this in video.
Okay, sir. I was just asking that लेंथ वेंथ तो एडजस्ट उस लेंथ में एक स्ट्रीमलाइन पोजीशन में भी तो कार एडजस्ट हो जाएगी ना, उसमें ज़्यादा एरिया ही मिलता है सोलर पैनल्स को लगाने का, अगर हम लोग वैसे लगाना चाहे तो।
आप बोल रहे समझ नहीं आ रहा, बोलना क्या चाह रहे हैं?
Make sure we listen you. Speak
Can I
louder.
write in chat box? I think my voice is not going properly.
Okay, you can write.
Any more question? Doubts?
So here we come to an end to the doubt session. So now I'd like to request Kshitij sir, the ex-captain of Team Race, to deliver the closing address and share his valuable thoughts and experiences with all of us.
So my name is Kshitij Sambhav. I was the captain for the year 2020 of Team Race. So first of all, I would like to congratulate the team to put up such a great presentation even after a serious glitch. I've been asked to share the experience of how I felt during my captainship or during an active member of the team. I've been an active member in the team for 3 years, so I think I've got an experience of the team. Basically, in the first year after being inducted, we were not given much bulky or difficult tasks. Mostly we were made to learn new softwares. Like for us, for mechanical guys, we were asked to learn about CATIA or ANSYS. And we were asked to we were asked to suggest whether we would like to change some design or something in which the car can be more efficient in the design way, or it can increase the safety and all the regulations which the ESBC mentioned. Means we had to go through the rule book that they have given, and after that we were asked about we were told to do sponsorship in the different phases of Adityapur. Most of you even don't know where is Adityapur. It's near the around the colleges. We were asked to go to the different phases of Adityapur. Then in the second year, the real manufacturing starts, and that time we were really pumped up to. Actually, we thought that making car will be great and we'll have, like, we'll do welding and everything, but it's not that easy. Every day we'll be faced with a new challenge. I was faced, everyone in the team were faced with the new challenge. Sometimes the wheel alignment will be not right. The next day the brakes will be not working, or maybe even if while fixing something another thing breaks. So that thing happens every day, and every day we get new challenge. And while returning from the workshop, everyone's hand will be greased and we will have a tired body while by working the whole day. But even though our mind will be were hyped, as we didn't lose focus from what our final goal was. And this thing went for almost 2.5 months. In the year 2019, for 2.5 months, when the event arrived, and we went there and did our best, and we secured 8th position among 50 teams from all over India. So being in the team, it helped me not only in gaining confidence, but it helped me to get to know each other. Like, we were a family, we can lean on one another whenever we needed help or anything. And even after the team, I've seen the seniors or super seniors where they're still close friends. So it's not only that you'll gain experience, like during the second year, if you are an active member, you have to go for a sponsorship, even if you are in the sponsorship team or not. Everyone have to contribute something to the team. So you'll get a lot of experience during that time, as you have to talk to HRs of different companies in the Jamshedpur region. So for me, it's not only about the experience which I gained and the technical things that I've learned, but it's also about the friendship and the bonding which we developed among the team. So I think that that's the most important thing, because after leaving this college, you will remember those things. So that's it for my side. If anyone have any more questions, you can ask. You can ask in the chat box if anyone have a question. I guess no one is asking, so that's it from my end. Manish, end कर सकते हो अब, अगर कोई किसी को question नहीं है.
Okay, sir. Ria, end the meeting.
Okay, I think all the doubts have been cleared. So thank you so much, sir. Okay, so on that note, let's end this session. Hope to see you all in the inductions in large numbers with the same zeal and enthusiasm as today. On behalf of the entire team race, we thank you for your valuable presence. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day.